Hey, what's going on, everybody? So I have seen Superman, the most anticipated movie of the year for myself anyway, and I was very interested to see what writer James Gunn would come up with here, considering James has really only tackled like smaller comic book characters. Even when he was doing things for Marvel, it was the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think a lot of people did not know who exactly that was. Just thought that this would be interesting, and not only is James Gunn taking over DC Studios and resetting the universe, he's also taking on the writing and directing responsibility, which is a huge risk. I always said so, but after DCEU's failures and flops, it definitely needed a reboot. And so I was really curious to see how are they going to do this and will it work this time, frankly. And James really started this whole thing with Creature Commandos, an animated series that I thoroughly enjoyed. I was actually very surprised by that, but it was also in James Gunn's wheelhouse of doing smaller characters. But it introduced us to Rick Flag Sr., Frank Grillo's character in the DCU, who I really enjoyed and knew was going to cross over into Superman here. But this is the first theatrical release of our new DC universe, so I was very curious to see how this would turn out, and basically this is kind of how it goes. I mean, James Gunn is really taking the George Lucas approach here. He's kind of putting us in the middle of something, like right from the beginning. There's even kind of an opening crawl a little bit, and it's nice to not have to go through another Superman origin story. It just kind of sets up what's there, and then we're in. And that's going to be jarring to most people, myself included. It took me a minute to like adjust and figure out like, okay, what is the approach to this film? My best advice to everybody is to go in and go along for the ride. I think you're going to see by the end of it that James Gunn has such a handle on the DC universe. I was blown away by this movie. I loved it. I thought that the very ending was some of the most like Superman shit we'd ever seen, which was so cool. And I thought David Corunswet absolutely nailed this role. He's a great Superman, guys. And also we have Nicholas Hoult this time playing Lex Luthor, who from the very beginning is so menacing, and I just loved everything he was doing. And it really feels like James Gunn wanted to essentially adapt a comic book. It's like you're picking up an issue of a Superman comic and this is where we are, and I just really love that approach. And if that approach is what's going to be taken with the DC universe moving forward, then count me in. We get to meet the Justice Gang, Mr. Terrific, Green Lantern, Hawk Girl, which also puts more invested interest into this universe. But I also think simultaneously of setting up a universe that James really made something here that can be for anybody. And I think that it calls out a lot of real world issues that we're having today, but it's also a movie that we need today because it just is filled with so much hope. And it's incredible to see the way that Superman loves humanity in this. And we haven't really had that in a little bit. Like, I like the Henry Cavill approach. I really did. I thought that that worked very well. Like, it was the first time we were seeing like a Superman that was so flawed, right? He wasn't as squeaky clean as Christopher Reeve's Superman, which is fantastic. I think we can have both approaches, but the way that David Corunswet approached playing Superman is one that kind of brings the best of both worlds, but never loses that hope core. And I think that that is so important right now. It just feels like the movie that we might need, given a lot of real world circumstances. A lot of people are going to feel the same way. Now, I don't know that every single person is going to love this movie, but I do think that most people are. And I think most people will find joy out of watching this. And I like that it's not calling out any one side of anything. It's just saying, this is what's going on in our real world. We need Superman to save it. And I love that. I really do. And it gets to like such a joyous point that I found myself getting choked up in this movie multiple times. It really is that good. And while it does take you a minute to adjust toward the beginning, it still, I think, works incredibly. I would have really liked to have seen maybe some more of the Justice Gang, although we get quite a bit of them. It's really hard to complain. And especially for something called Superman, we're seeing a lot of the Justice Gang, and it's really cool because I think it's what you need to get us excited for more installments in this universe. Is start introducing us to other characters, set up your entire world in your first theatrical release. What's it gonna look like? This is one of the most like comic booky movies like out there, honestly. Like, it really feels like it leapt off the pages of a comic book, and I think that that was the goal, and I think it was very much pulled off. There's a certain character that I'm not really sure if I'm supposed to say or not. I don't know if it's a big spoiler for comic book fans. I'm not like that well versed in the Superman comics, jokes, but there's one character in particular that just annoyed the hell out of me for the majority of the film, and that'd be my one issue. Just think they could have dialed down the annoying on the one character and maybe still somehow have led to the same jokes and heart that it led to. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. If you guys have seen the movie, you absolutely do. Other than that, that's it. I really love the approach that they took with Ma and Pa Kent. I thought it was really interesting because at the beginning I wasn't sure how I felt about it until it just went into a certain direction. And then also this movie's just shot so beautifully. Maybe one or two little CGI moments you could pick out and say, it didn't look so good, but you really just don't care because you're so invested in the storytelling and the action. There's a lot of story that I don't want to give away, but you guys should definitely go see this on the biggest screen that you can. And one more plus, bringing back the original Superman score was what was needed. It was absolutely worth it. I loved hearing that original John Williams theme in this, and just adds to the hope of the movie. And I hope that that's what you guys experience when you watch it. All right, guys, those are my non-spoiler thoughts on James Gunn's Superman. What did you guys think of the film? Honestly, this one really lived up to the hype for me, so I hope it does for you guys as well. Before I get out of here, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave some feedback in the comment section, share this with your friends, hit the bell for notifications. My name is Dom, and I will talk to you guys later.